Hey friends and family, welcome to the Tuesday tutorials at SilverSilk and more here on the Facebook page. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Nilay Patel and I'm the owner and designer and maker and everything at SilverSilk and more, and I love bringing you guys new fun fresh ideas and inspirations using SilverSilk and a lot of the other products that are out there that my friends use or own, such as Softflex Wire, Tierra Cast, Vintage, Jesse James Beads, of course. So there's many others, but it's a fun giant family of creative inspiration, and we're so happy to be here with you guys. I can see some of our friends are already popping on. Hey Julie, Gretchen and Greta are on too, and as you guys know, Teresa is my, or I think I said Gretchen, sorry, I didn't mean to repeat myself. Teresa and Gretchen are on, and of course you guys know Teresa is the brand ambassador for SilverSilk and more, and what a lady she is. Really working hard behind the scenes to make sure that all of our silkies are welcomed into the Facebook Silkies group, and keeping an eye on all the posts and making sure that there's no inappropriate or unwanted content on there. So thank you, Teresa, for taking care of that big responsibility. Hey Mimi, and Sylvia's here too. Lots of friends joining in. We got a fun show tonight. There's a lot to talk about, and it's so funny because for a few months there I was really working hard to create new content, and now, especially for these shows, and now it's just all this stuff is just now pouring in because I feel like because I'm able to procure SilverSilk, the handcuffs are really off, and I'm just moving in a lot of different directions that are all very, very positive. So thank you guys for being here with me and sharing in that joy that I have of all things SilverSilk. Hey Cheryl. So cool, as we have people coming on, I want to talk a little bit, the first thing, because these topics are a little bit out of order as I posted it, but I wanted to talk about some new things on the website, and I'm working behind the scenes as well on that to make sure that it's a streamlined shopping experience for you guys. www.silversilkonline.com. One major change that I made, which I think will be a great one, is that on the home page, as you scroll down, you immediately see a calendar on there. And I'm starting to post when Tuesday tutorials are, just so there's no confusion. And sometimes there's a topical based Tuesday tutorial. And then when the mystery series is going to be released, which happens to be this Friday. So hop on to silversilkonline.com and do scroll down and check out the calendar. As I think of things, I'll continue to post on there so that nobody gets lost in any of the different activities that are going on. And just in case I forget to say it in these videos as well. Hey Kathy, Stacya's on too, hello. What else? So Amazon Rainforest is the next themed mystery series kit. And this is gonna be a pretty epic kit, I think, because there are quite a few items that I got to put in this time, again, just due to the lack of constraints that I had this time around. With the Tokyo Nights kit, it was very, very difficult to figure out the parts and pieces to that one just because I didn't have as much stuff, and now it's quite the opposite. So the kit will have a lot of stuff in it, and it's going to be really fun to work with. And I did listen to you guys and add in a lot of charms and other things in there that you wanted to see, so it'll be, again, fun to work with. But all of that is happening this Friday, so be sure to mark your calendars. The next topic is, what is pearlesque chain and how is it made? And this is a really fun thing that I wanted to touch base on with you guys, because a lot of you have used pearlesque chain for a long time and appreciate what it is. And I got to, of course, now learn more about it behind the scenes as I'm making it. And so what I wanted to share with you guys was the process that, you get first a spool of ball chain. And the way that I've innovated this product to make sure that it's streamlined with the other stuff that I have is that the ball chain that I'm using inside the pearlesque chain is a little bit smaller. It's 2mm, and this has a knitted sleeve of tinsel, which it comes on a spool like this. And this one happens to be rainbow colored, and what happens is that 6 needles take this one itty bitty thread and knits around the ball chain, to then create a cord that looks like this, which I also have on a spool. I just did a bunch this weekend, enough to get it prepared and ready. Hey Suzanne, Marty, it's good to see you guys on here. Thanks for joining in. I'm just now talking about burlesque chain. So I was able to knit all of this up this weekend, and this is the core that becomes the burlesque part of burlesque chain, because over that you get a knitted sleeve of the wire. So what happens is that you either get a iridescent rainbow layering with your knitted chain, or the way that I've innovated and sort of pushed the product along a little bit further in its, in its innovation, is that I started using colored tinsel. So I have all these beautiful colors that were never used before in SilverSilk, and I've begun to knit with them. So there's a few. In fact, I've got this orange as well, and these are so fun to play with and knit with, and I think this is going to be a really dynamite color palette to work with for all kinds of different knitting types of spools and wires and stuff. Lately, actually, I got to use this lighter color and this orange color with the antique copper with it layered, and it made a really beautiful, stunning color that I'm going to show you tonight, including also the lighter colored wire with blue, which I don't have that spool with me. But I can show you guys what the effect of that does to the knitted cord. It's quite spectacular, actually. These two wires that I'm gonna, the two types of knitted wires that I'm gonna show you tonight will be released as part of the Amazon Rainforest theme this Friday. So not on sale today, but on sale Friday. And I know some of you can't wait to get your hands on this after you see it, so. Yeah, I know, Cheryl says, wow, that pink, isn't it gorge? I love it. Ew. So imagine this like with a purple knit wire over it. It's gonna darken that color and really get it to a very, I can't wait. I'll just have to do it and show you guys because it's that exciting. I do have green, Kathy. She says, no green. I do have green, but it's actually on my machine and it's being knitted over gold right now. So that's gonna be fun. I have that for another mystery kit later down the road in this year, in fact, so I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of the schedule this time. All right, I am clearing out my table because we're gonna start our tutorial part of this segment. But before I get to that, I wanted to show you what I've been knitting lately. So here's some new wires, some new cords, I guess, knitted wire cords that I've been making. And I wanna say the first two that are online right now that you can go and purchase this is a new one that's never been seen on SilverSilk before, called Solid Antique Copper. This has an antique copper core. I wish I could pull some of this out and show you guys. It's a little bit hard to because it's knitted over. But antique copper ball chain and then antique copper knitted wire right over it. So it's very antique copper. Hence the name, Solid Antique Copper. It's beautiful. It's a lot darker than the antique copper, the recent one that we made, dark rose, where that one has a reddish tint to it. This one's just solid antique copper. Very yummy, as Wanda says. And Suzanne has just joined us. Hey, Suzanne, lovely to see you. So yeah, this is online now under the Capture Chain section, so check it out. Okay, I didn't know if I got to introduce fall last time or not, but I'm going to do it again just in case, so I apologize if I have already covered this. Fall has been around for a long time, and I've basically re-knitted it to include into the SilverSilk chain catalog. And this is a gold-colored ball chain with antique copper over it, and it creates a beautiful, like, very lustrous and illuminated cord, I think. Especially when you're looking at it far away, you see like this dark sort of antique copper over it with the sparkles of the gold through it. So it's really pretty. It's been a popular color, and I wasn't able to have it in stock until now. So this is available in 3 and 6 foot, as well as the antique copper, solid antique copper. So do check those out. I've been like living up antique copper lately. I don't know about you guys, but it's like borderline fall season, and so my head's sort of getting into the neck, which is crazy because it's been a really rough year, but it's been going by pretty quick, and I hope it has for you guys as well. Okay, the two that I'm excited to talk about that will be released this Friday as part of the as part of the Amazon Rainforest theme. These are two colors that I developed with the tinsels, the color tinsels. So let me get those out real quick. The first one I want to talk about is called Ember, and this has that color. This is a beautiful copper colored tinsel that's super rainbow, as you can see. Like, look how holographic that is. And what I did was I knitted it over silver colored ball chain, and then knitted that over with antique copper. So you get this really fiery color that's just sort of like, if you think about like a fire opal or something very, I don't know, labradorite has it, like you see a solid color, but you see this little flare that happens every now and then when it glows. And as Wanda says, it glows, and that's exactly right. So much prettier in real life, harder to capture on camera, but you can kind of see that this does have a beautiful glow to it. It's very subtle, but very, very cool. And it's funny because it's such a bright color, but the chain and the type of wire that you use that you knit over it really tones it down into something else. So you just never really know what you're going to get whenever you start to combine some of these things together. But this was cool. Ember is what it's called. Give it a very fiery name. And again, available this Friday. So let me put this one away. And I want to talk about this next one because it's gorgeous. Oh my God. Okay. So we've all seen what River looks like, which is this here. Same combination. I have the silver colored ball chain inside of it, and I've got this darker sort of navy colored blue 32 gauge wire that's been knitted over it. So in the sense of River, it just makes a beautiful darker blue chain. But in this case, what I've done was I've taken this brighter colored tinsel. Look at how gorgeous that is. Very holographic, just as that other one was, the orange. But whenever I've knitted it over the silver colored ball chain, it really transforms this into a very brighter colored chain. And it's so gorgeous. It is very shiny. It looks like, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but please go Google it. Apatite, the gemstone. It is very, very, very dead on to that color. And it is absolutely stunning. This was a, this was one of the good ones. I had a piece out, setting out somewhere that I messed up on, but you could see where the capture chain starts and where the tinsel starts, and it's like two different chains altogether, but it's so gorgeous. You guys have to check it out this Friday. Very, very sea-esque, I think. But it's beautiful, and I'm so excited about these, and they're so good. They're just delicious. So I am going to put all this to the side now because I want to start on tonight's Tuesday tutorials. Jamie says peacock. Honey, you are absolutely right. That is definitely nice and peacock blue. Okay, so I have a sale, or at least a free giveaway. Free Tierra Cast cones, which look like this, because I'm going to use them on tonight's project. And if you guys don't have these cones, you can get them for free tonight. Actually, through the week. The sale ends on Saturday. But use this code free cones at checkout. But you got to have 25 or over in cart for it to work, which is the equivalent of 2 capture chains, I believe, or 3. And yeah, silversilkonline.com. So I will leave this out to the side here as I use it for tonight's tutorial. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to dive into some of our cooler colors. I have been a fan of the Shoreline Capture Chain, which looks like this. So pretty. It's a seafoam color over a dark rhodium colored ball chain. This was the older style of knitted wire, so the knits are very, very tiny and the chain is very fine. The chains that I have now are a lot more robust and bigger, which you can clearly see all of the different elements on there. So just slowly getting rid of older inventory and making new stuff as it happens. But I know some of you have that color in stock in your own stash, so I wanted to use that tonight And I want to use River because that's an absolutely stunning color. This blue is just to die for. It's so pretty. And then of course Fern, which is this sort of brighter green color, sort of a spring green over a dark rhodium ball chain. Also beautiful. I think the ball chain really tones down the look and mood of that brighter color into just something super cute and wearable. So what I wanted to do, no appetite for appetite. Sylvia, you're a comedian. I love it. I have an appetite for appetite. It's truly a gorgeous color. In fact, I think it might look a little different. You can kind of see the difference now. I think that white was maybe throwing it off, but it's super glowy. I'm just loving it. Anyway, gotta stay on track here, you guys. I wanted to combine these three colors for tonight, and I thought I'd do a couple bracelets because I haven't done bracelets in a while. And I wanted to use the cones for one of them and just braid the cord and do something a little bit simpler. I thought I might embellish it with the Jesse James bead here. So they're gonna be making a little bit of a presence tonight. And I think that'll make a cute little charm. I'm missing, oh wait, how would I put it? I think I got my clasp sitting out here somewhere. I had a toggle clasp, but no matter, I'll find it later. Okay, so I'm gonna do this bracelet first, and then I've got a really fun idea for another bracelet. Oh, you know what? I didn't get to introduce the Storm Capture Chain. Why am I blanking? I actually wanted to use that with this color combo and not so much the River. The River I'll use in the next one, the next bracelet I made. But I had a scrap of this left over, and I was like, you know what? I gotta do something with it. So I kind of love where this is. And they all have the dark rhodium ball chain, so it kind of works pretty well together. So let's do that first. Okay, I'm just gonna take some wire. This is 22 gauge, and this is not soft flex wire. I just have this in my stash for today. I really need to replenish on my craft wire with soft flex. I just haven't been proactive about that because I've been knitting, I guess. So I'm just gonna use some cheapo craft wire here in the dark color. I don't even know what brand it is, in fact, and I have no idea where to get it, but I know for sure that Softflex 22 gauge in a darker color, gunmetal, is definitely available, so you'll want to check it out there. And what I'm going to do is gather up my strands. So what you can do is actually just string it right through the knits. I think that would be the easiest thing to do here at the top. What I would do is move the ball chain down just a little bit and then pinch it with your fingers, this knitted portion, and then just string it through your 22 gauge wire. So the knitting with the wire prevents it from falling off or even fraying, which I think is a really cool aspect of this particular type of knitted chain. And I'm going to do that to all three of them, in fact. Just like that. What you can do at this point is I'm actually going to do it, part it in half and kind of just squeeze it together and carry both of my wires up. So this will gather up everything quite nicely. And now I've got two wires that stick up, so that's perfect. I'm hoping that they'll both go through here pretty smoothly. There we go. And the cone should just fit right over it. So pretty good so far. Very flawless. I might say if there's a little bit of wire sticking out, just trim it. So just move this back, or you could tuck it back in as you wish. That's totally up to you. So this looks really good to me. What I'm gonna do is actually take and wire wrap one of my wires around the other wire. So to do that, I'm actually just gonna grab my chain nose pliers. Let's see if I can do this. You might have to give it a little bit of a start, but this will just keep the cone pointed down. It won't move up or anything once it's wrapped. The cone will want to move around with you, but that's okay. You can definitely just kind of force that wire to coil as you need it to. There we go. You can make adjustments along the way if you need to, so no big deal. I think it's easier for me to coil with my left hand than it is my right hand in this case. So there we go. So now what I'll do is I'll just trim it off, and I want to leave myself enough wire to make a simple loop. So whoops, I have to pick that up later. I hate it when that happens whenever I cut something and then either I can't find it later, which stinks altogether, or, you know, I gotta go and do some light cleaning after all of my videos. There we go. So yeah, I can either put a bead on here now, or I can go ahead and make my simple loop here at the end. I think what I can decide if I want to do a charm here at the end and then just put a clasp up here. I think that would look kind of cute. Or I can have this hang down with a head pin. Oh, choices. I think I'm gonna have it hang down. I think that would look cuter as a charm. So I'm just gonna trim this and just do a very simple loop, if you will. So I'm gonna grab some round nose pliers and go ahead and form my simple loop. So here I just made a P-shaped loop just like that. Make sure you trim a 1/2 inch above where your last coil is, and that should be sufficient enough wire to work with. If you get a little bit of, if you get a little bit of a gap, don't worry. What I do is I just reinsert it back into my pliers and form it around until it closes. If you need to do this a couple times, no worries. If you need to pinch it shut with your chain nose pliers, you can absolutely do that. But once you get it right, it's pretty good looking. As I mentioned, I really did have, hang on. No. Well, bummer. I'm pretty sure I set a clasp out, and then I feel like my memory is leaving me. That's so sad. But I'm pretty sure I set a clasp out. Now I can't find it. So I've got this other one that I guess I could use. A lobster claw, which in this case I wanted to use a toggle really badly, but I can always just change it out later. Losing my mind, you guys. When you know you've done something and then you have no idea where it is. That's what 34 is looking like for me. Suzanne says, amazing that you can get 3 chains into a small cone. Yeah, you know, and these are fairly small, I will say that. They're just big enough for 3 and no more than that. If you put 4 in here, it's gonna be way too overcrowded, so don't do that. Okay, I just put a little lobster claw on there, but again, you guys can use whatever clasp you choose to. And I am actually just gonna do a braid because I love how these colors combine together. Look at that, oh my gosh, so pretty. Suzanne, welcome to my world. Oh, I forget a lot of things these days. It happens, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna continue braiding. I wanna get about a good 6 inches of braid in tonight. Wanda says those cones are gorgeous, are beautiful. Absolutely, they're Tierra Cast. They're gonna be pretty exquisite because they're from Tierra Cast, I think. They make super high quality products for sure. So don't forget your coupon code there. Okay, so I need to grab a ruler, which I also, of course, left in the other room. Dang, I really need to move all of my craft supplies in my office, but I would need like 3 other rooms to combine together for that to happen. In this case, I'm just gonna use my wrist, since I have no idea where that ruler is. So it looks like I need to go down maybe an inch more on my braids. So I'm gonna braid a couple more times and then combine them together. Now this is maybe a little bit tighter than I want it. So what I think I'm gonna do is remove a couple braids, in fact, because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I don't want it that tight. And I'm just gonna move the rest of these braids down. I want it to have a little bit of movement, room, and body to it. And so if I do more braids, it's going to make it very tight. Hi, Yolanda. Thanks for joining in, and you're a little bit late, but not really. We just started on our first bracelet tonight, and you can always, of course, catch the replay later on. So this looks really good. I would actually wear this myself, now looking at the color scheme. Yeah, that looks good. So what I'm gonna do is the same method from earlier and grab my 22 gauge wire and give it a trim. As for how much 22 gauge wire you need, I would say about 7 inches is plenty. You probably won't need any more than that. So what I'm gonna do is carefully grab these and go ahead and trim them. And if you cut these a little too short, by the way, this is a great project for scraps. If you cut these a little bit too short, you can always add on a bead at the end of these to maybe give it a little bit more extra embellishment and help extend it out. So there's a number of possibilities that will help even if you've made a mistake. Okay, so I'm actually gonna try to pull one of these ball chains out so I can trim it back. And that'll give me some extra wire to kind of pinch and later string through with my wire. So go ahead and do that to this one. There we go. If there might be a little bit more there that I need, so I'm just gonna trim this back. And what's great about how product innovation has been going is that the knits are a lot bigger, which means it's gonna be a lot easier for everyone to pass any sort of stringing material through the knits, including beading wire, if that's what you choose to use, soft flex wire certainly, or even just regular craft wire. And I think that's a really great advantage. So again, I'm just gonna flip both wires up to make sure that they're nice and even and bent right down the middle. Gather up my knitted wires there, and then I'm gonna go back and just kind of loosen my braid a little bit. Oh, that looks so pretty, doesn't it? Love that. And then I'm going to string both wires right through the cone and make sure that I press down on it, and you'll see that all of them fit right through. And it's because I've pinched the wire at the end, so please make sure you do that if you try this. Okay, so I'll separate these out, and I'm just going to coil one wire right over the other as carefully as I can. If it doesn't coil immediately, just go ahead and give it a little head start by kind of forcing a coil on there. And in fact, I'm gonna switch and use my larger pliers here. I've got two different chain nose pliers, and one is a lot thicker than the other for holding things, and the other one is nice and tiny and tapered and detailed for holding very delicate, smaller objects. Both serve a purpose though, essentially. There we go. So you can see it's coming together quite well. And again, I'm gonna hold the wire while I trim it this time. When you trim the wire, I do it at an angle. It helps to taper that wire point a little bit better. Therefore, I can actually go in and pinch it down and coil it around seamlessly. There you go. If your coils stack odd, you can go back and press them to make them stack correctly. And now I'll just trim about a ½ inch up from the last coil. I'll go in with my round nose pliers and begin to create a P-shaped loop, just like that. Then what I'll do is I'll grab my smaller tapered chain nose pliers and bend the neck to get it nice and symmetrical. If it's off just a little bit, again, reinsert it into your pliers and push in the direction that you need to get it nice and symmetrical. So this looks really good to me. I'm just gonna connect my little jump ring on, just like that. I'm gonna use both of my pliers to close it. Most of the time I use my fingers because I'm not as delicate as people say that I am, and close it that way, but certainly I think the tools are there for a reason, so please use them accordingly. So isn't that just a snazzy little bracelet? I think that's so cute. So now what I can do is take a Jesse James bead to embellish it, and I do have head pins. They're actually right over here. There we go. So I just grabbed one of my very own head pins. It has a nice little ball here at the end. This is in the dark rhodium color. I'm hoping that this will fit through. I'll need some sort of a smaller bead or stopper at the end. I might have something. Let me check my bag of beads real quick. I've got all kinds of stuff just like laying around that in case I need it, you know, it's always there for me. So I might find a little bead to embellish this with. I'm gonna refer to my good old Atlantis collection. Y'all remember this collection, don't you? Or the little mystery kit. Like I found a cute little bead there. I'm just gonna use that. Stick here. This will help to stop the larger bead from going through, and at the same time create a very intricate and gorgeous little charm. Oh, Becky said Tierra Cast piece looks very vintage. It's very vintage looking, and I love that. That is a cool way to put it. I agree, and I think it is a very cool touch as well too. Okay, so there we go. Just create a nice little P-shaped loop to my charm. Twist this back, and I'm going to open my simple loop the same way that I would a jump ring. You do it in and out and not to the side, and then close it and flip it back down just the same way. So, very cute, don't you think? Just so easy to do. And sometimes it's just color combinations that really make all the difference, I think. But this is one bracelet style. I actually have another one in mind that I want to show you guys. I looked up a Celtic Knot that I think I wanted to try. I haven't shown how to do it live, and so I'm a little nervous, as always. But I think it'll be a spectacular thing that you guys should try. And if you have already, please share it to the SilverSilk Silkies Facebook group page. I want to see if any of our other silkies have tried to make it as well. But I said it to myself I was going to use River, but now I'm thinking that's equally a beautiful combination, so I don't know. I think I'm going to do it with I'm going to save the River for now, and I'm going to go with the Fern and the Shoreline and see if I can pull this off. So what I'm going to do, I don't really need all of this. I'm kind of thinking that I probably just need to work with, maybe about 8 inches or so at a time. So let me just work with that so far, right here. Suzanne, you were asking what gauge wire was that. Are you talking about what we wrapped the cone with? That's 22 gauge. And as to your response for the love knot, I'm not sure if that's what this is or not, but if it is, please let me know. I definitely forgot the name like a dum-dum, and can't seem to remember it, but it was a very intricate knot, actually. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna cut 8 inches of both of these. Hopefully that's gonna be enough. And now I have to do a little bit of weaving through this. So I'm gonna go over, under, and then over, under, and then, let's see, over, no, under, over, and under again. Nope, I did something wrong. Okay, I can do this, you guys. I did it earlier and it was so cool. So let's see. I remember it going over this way. And then I go, I believe it's under. Over, under? Or maybe that was it. But then this would not explain where this would go. Of course, I need to look at the picture. Hang on just a sec. I know I did this earlier today, and I was looking at a picture. So if someone knows what that knot is, please feel free to identify it. Josephine knot is what Vicky is saying, so I bet that's exactly it. I found a picture of it, and I was just like, oh, that's so cool. I wonder if it can be done with SilverSilk. So let's see. Okay, we have this crossing over this, and then this goes, actually, I think I was doing it right. It seems, oh no, maybe I wasn't. Over. Yes, I was doing it incorrect. Okay, this looks way more correct. Isn't that cool? I think that's really neat, and it does stay, and it's definitely a lot more intricate than the other knot that we did before. So apologize for my not remembering, as I was mentioning earlier. It just is happening to me lately, or for a while. But let me demonstrate this again for you guys now that I think I understand it. So what we're gonna do is cross these like a little fish shape. Make sure your wire is faced up from the other side there. And then what I'm gonna do is take my second piece of capture chain, and I'm gonna go over the two knots in the loop. And then I'm gonna go under the first strand there, over the second strand, under the loop where it starts, over the capture chain that I started with, and then back down through the loop, and that is what makes your knot. So cool. And then you just basically kind of work it together, and I think it just makes a really absolutely stunning, I mean, this will be, is that a remembering knot? Haha. Or not remembering. You know I love puns, Wanda, so you're like a girl that speaks to my heart. Puns are funny. So I think this will make a really cool component, especially if you've got a necklace that you're wanting to combine two separate colors with. And you could do this as sort of a focal piece on one side and then have it, you know, chained to the other if you wanted it to. So really cool, but I'm gonna actually just do a quick little clasp to this because it's just so easy to do. So I'm gonna use my double strand end caps. I was not remembering. Hilarious. So let's see, I might have cut a little bit more than I needed. I'm just gonna trim it back just a smidge to fit me. So here we go. If this is off, by the way, you can loosen the knot and just tighten it until it becomes even, so it's very easy to use. So there we go. I'm gonna trim 2 of the ball chain off. And then my double strand end caps are very special. They have little teeth inside of them. And so whenever you place your chains right inside, those teeth grasp onto the ball chain. And then all you do is just grab your nylon jaw pliers, and what you do is you just give it a good squeeze. And those teeth will definitely not make that chain come out. So it is a really fun, easy way to clasp your design together. without any special tools or glue or anything like that. So let's see. I'm gonna eyeball this and just trim a little bit off here. It looks like it's optically pretty much symmetrical, so I'm not worried. Same process here, just slip it right into the channels of your double strand end cap, holding everything in place using your nylon jaw pliers. And the reason I'm using that is it doesn't cause any abrasion on my finding. As you could see, it didn't scratch it at all. And instantly you've got a little wow bracelet with 2 different colors of capture chain. And for that lost clasp that I have somewhere. I hate it when that happens. And I actually had these other beads sitting out, but I didn't get to do anything with them tonight. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. And I have a bunch of chain left over, so we'll see. But that can be another Tuesday tutorial topic. So let me put this laptop away. I'm reading all these comments that everyone is posting. Joan is better late than never. That's so true. So I'm glad you got to join. We made this really fancy, did we get a name for this? Is this a Josephine knot? I couldn't identify it, I'm sorry. I'll go look it up later and then post it later in a Facebook post. But I just think that's so cute, so easy. Infinity knot? Yeah, it's one of those. I'll look it up, but it's cool. You can do this now with the different color capture chains. And then we made this really great bracelet that we just used these cones. Ooh, and by the way, don't forget, free Tierra Cast cones with the coupon code FREECONES at checkout. You must have 25 in cart. So if you're really loving this design and want to put together something really quick and fun and easy, do use a coupon code with your purchase. What else? I'm reading some of the comments here. Celtic Knot is, yes, it was definitely one of the Celtic knots. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if we're gonna pun it up, which specifically it was. Oh, congrats, Joan. I think that's what people were congratulating you last week on, was that you got a new house. So I think I missed that altogether, but I'm so glad. I'm glad you are close to getting unpacked and getting your new craft room and stuff set up, I hope. What else? For those of you that are just tuning in, don't forget about our Silkies group on Facebook. We have a fabulous brand ambassador named Teresa, who is our wonderful welcome committee person, and she is also the wrangler of content and making sure that things are posted accordingly to being on topic and making sure that all the bad stuff stays out of the way. So, alrighty, I am gonna flip the camera around, I guess, and call it a Tuesday tutorial, but I'm so glad you guys were able to chime in today, when you could, and join me for this fantastic project. I don't get to make bracelets a whole lot, but when I do, it's always fun. And I'm also curious to see how these would be interpreted into necklaces, and that might be for a future Tuesday tutorial as well. Friday is the release of our new themed kit and contents called Amazon Rainforest. It's going to be so much fun. Follows a lot of the greens and blues that you saw here today. So I think I'm just getting into the spirit of Amazon Rainforest, and you'll definitely see the new pearlesque chains from earlier in this show on the website this Friday. So definitely you'll want to check out www.silversilkonline.com. You'll want to sign up for the newsletter, because this is major, because I don't post coupons online on the website. I only post them to the newsletter. Little tip there. So be sure you're checking your emails and making sure that nothing hits the spam that's coming from SilverSilk, because there are coupon codes in there for free stuff. What else? I think that's about it. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm posting stuff on there constantly. And of course our Silkies group, as I mentioned earlier. Thanks, Becky. Thank you guys for joining in, and Sharon, lovely to see you guys. Mimi, thank you so much. Oh, and she wishes me a happy birthday. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Well, you guys have an enjoyable rest of the evening. I am going to make probably some sort of a gin cocktail. And it's a Tuesday, but why not? Because it's a Tuesday, right? and enjoy the rest of the week, and I will catch you guys at the next Tuesday tutorial. Again, if you have any questions, just email me at orders@silversilkonline.com, and I love all of you so much. I'm just gonna get back to knitting because that's my fun Tuesday afternoon. That's what that's looking like. All right, bye guys.